Hello, welcome. Thank you so much, Jen and Ruxana for joining today for the prep work. I'm Whitney. Hello. So I'm going to give folks just a minute to get in here. We're also streaming live in our Facebook group for the very first time. Very excited about that as well. And also, this is the first time that I've been doing a live prep work before one of our trainings. So I'm really excited about it as well. And you are probably registered. If you're here, you're probably registered for my training next week, which I really just can't wait to show you and walk through. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. It is not a training at all. It is a visualization. These are so powerful. I actually, as I was preparing for this call, I was doing the visualization myself and then literally had dreams that were vividly actually me experiencing what we're going to visualize. So this is powerful work and important work for us as entrepreneurs. We can always focus on the tactics, but getting our mind and our body to catch up with where we want to be going is also really important. So before we dive in, I am going to just go over a few pieces of housekeeping. So if you haven't signed up for the upcoming training that I have next week, all about websites, make sure that you are registered for that. It's coming on March 3rd at 10 a.m. Eastern or March 4th at 12 p.m. Eastern. And you can go to whitneybateson.com/upgrade to get registered for that. If you already registered in your confirmation email, you would have had two links to add it to your calendar, depending on which day you registered for. Make sure that you do add it to your calendar. Just copy the little link, your unique link from that email into that calendar invite so you can join right when we go live next week. Always good to have it on the calendar. And if you're not in our Facebook group yet, that's where we're going to be continuing the conversation after this prep work and after the training next week. So you can join that at whitneybateson.com/FB group. And if you are streaming this in Facebook and you want to participate live on Zoom, just go to whitneybateson.com/pre-work and we'll let you into the Zoom room as well. So I want to make sure you all can experience this in real time if you would like. But if you are watching the recording of this or the stream, you're still going to get so much value out of this for sure. All right, we have a lot of people in here today. I had promised that this was only going to take a few minutes of your time. So I really want to stay true to that and get going. So in a minute, like I mentioned, we're going to go through a short visualization. You won't need anything for that, but then afterwards, I'm going to ask you to immediately take some of the things that you visualized and put them down on paper and record them down and journal just a little bit. So if you have a piece of paper or a journal and something to write with nearby, then that would be great. That would really ensure that you can capture your thoughts right after we're done. And yeah, we are going to get into it. So what we're going to be doing, just to prepare you for this, you don't need to close your eyes yet, but I will be asking you to do that in a second. So what I want you to be doing today is visualizing what it actually feels like when your calendar is full of just the best, most perfect clients for you to be working with. And not just imagining it intellectually and, oh, okay, what does that look like and all of that, but what that feels like and really feeling it. Because when you can feel things that you are striving for or wanting to have actually happen in your business, then everything feels so much clearer and you unlock things that you just were not even allowing yourself to unlock before when you were thinking and efforting. So this is also actually going to be super practical as well. You're going to take the insights that you uncover today and you're going to use them in the webinar next week as well when we talk about website messaging. But we're not going to do tactics today. That's next week. First, I just want you to get really excited about where you're headed, where your practice is headed. So now is the time to get comfortable, to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and we're going to go through this visualization. So just imagine that your calendar is full with clients you are really making a difference with, or you just had a record month of sales in your program And so many of these customers came to you so easily. And what you offer is just such a perfect fit for them. So visualize who these people really are, see their faces, notice what they want most out of their health and out of their lives, and really sink into that feeling of what it's like to live in that reality of a thriving practice, a thriving business. And don't talk yourself out of this right now. Really believe this. Really let yourself feel this. Let yourself enjoy the feeling and feel the joy of this feeling of a thriving, full, just fulfilling practice that you have with people just coming to you so easily and everything just being exactly how you want it to be. Now I want you to shift your attention to a potential new client that you're about to have a conversation with. You're about to hop on a discovery call. Yes, it is a sales call, but it feels good. You're excited going into it. Before you even got on this call and getting on this call, you could tell that this person is going to be another really great fit to add to your practice, to your calendar. Maybe they filled out their intake form and what they wrote made you think, oh, yes, I can totally help them. This is, yes, absolutely. Or they mentioned that they found you somewhere and they already really resonated with your approach. So something about them already told you this is going to be a really great conversation. So now you're joining the call. How does that feel in your body? Are you energized? Are you calm? Are you confident? Are you feeling just so certain and secure and excited? Then they start talking. You're on the call. Listen to what they're saying, not just the clinical side of things, but how they're experiencing their struggle, what they're dealing with right now in their lives, what made them reach out to you. What words are they using? What are the things that they keep coming back to and maybe saying a few times throughout the call? What is it about what they're sharing that makes you think, I know exactly how to help you? Yes, I'm so glad that you found me. I am so glad for us to start working together. And then what lights you up about this person? What makes you excited to work with them? And so then you start talking about how you could work together. And it just feels so easy to be talking about this. It feels effortless, even. You clearly suggest the best path for them. You call out specific things you'll work on together that line up exactly with what they just shared with you. It's like a lock and key. It just fits perfectly. It's easy for you to confidently tie your work to what matters most to them. And as you talk, and you don't need to talk for very long, you can really feel the energy shift on the call. They're nodding, they're engaged, they get it. They get what you do. They get the value. They can see themselves in what you're describing. And it makes perfect sense to them. And it's exactly what they've been looking for. And they feel just so relieved that they found you and connected with you. And so now the call is wrapping up and they say yes. Right there on the call, how does that feel to just have an instant yes? What's happening in your chest, in your shoulders, in your energy with that feeling that someone was just so ready and so connected? And so then you hang up and you end the call, and that spot on your calendar is filled with someone absolutely perfect. Okay, now I want you to open your eyes. And I am going to bring back up my slides here. Okay. So I hope that that brought some things up for you. So I want you to grab your notebook now. And I want you to reflect on some of these questions. You can reflect on all of them or anyone that resonates most with you. So, what was that person struggling with? And not just the diagnosis, not those specific scientific things, but the actual experience that they were going through, the words that they were using to talk about that experience that they were having. And what made you feel so confident that you could help them? What were those things that you were like, yeah, this is my wheelhouse. This is where I excel. This is the type of person that I know I can help. So what made you feel that way? And what about them specifically excited you the most and made you say, okay, this is also just totally something that I'm ready to do, work with this person. I feel confident about it. I'm excited. And then also, what parts felt unclear? If anything felt fuzzy or you weren't able to access that and really feel that, that's useful information as well in this process. It just means that you should actually come back to this again, and we will be sharing the recording, and maybe pause at any piece where it feels clear, or you feel yourself fighting it a bit or dropping out of the visualization and getting in your own head a little bit or having doubt, and unpack that and keep working on it until it is clear and you can feel those things and see these people clearly without any judgment or stopping yourself. Just let yourself fully feel this in a very positive, energized way. Okay. So now what you can do after this is head to the Facebook group and share one or two things from your visualization. Maybe it's what your dream client was struggling with in their own words, what made the call feel easy and aligned for you, and what really stood out to you that, okay, this call was so easy, or what lit you up about working with them, any of those things, or even what surprised you most about this exercise, even parts that felt not so good or not so easy to access, or parts that felt really good, and things that you're definitely going to carry on with yourself as you keep moving forward. So I am going to comment on every single one. And also, for those of you, I'm going to put back on my headphones just in case anyone wants to come off mute and share. I would love to take a moment now to hear if any of you want to share anything that came out of this, any of these reflections that you had. You can also share in the chat if you'd like. We have that open as well. But I would love to hear from folks. What's like one little thing that came out of this? What's maybe that client? Is there anything new that you uncovered about your ideal clients that maybe you hadn't really thought about before, that you were like, oh, I didn't realize that was something that they might be dealing with or saying? That's something new that I wasn't thinking about before. Or maybe it was something about experiencing a full calendar and a full business that also felt a little unfamiliar or uncertain, or maybe it felt really good and you were surprised about that. Anything that anyone wants to share, feel free to come off mute. Tracy, good to see you here from the NE Summit. Yeah, anyone want to share anything? Okay, missed a portion. Yeah. This was meant to be pretty quick, but the good thing is that when you listen to the recording, which we'll be sharing out in just a little bit later today, you can listen to it very quickly. We'll also be putting this on the podcast so that if you are more of a podcast, want to walk and listen to this visualization and think about it, you can do that as well. But anyone have any insights to share? Yes.
I had a client on Monday contact me regarding gut health issues. Listened to, it was a discovery call, listened to their story. And one of the comments that they said was, I read your story and said, I felt like you got me, you heard me in what you shared. And I thought that was pretty powerful. And they immediately signed up for a package, one of my high-end packages. My mouth just dropped because it was my first one I have sold. So it's pretty exciting.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's such a thank you so much for sharing that, Tracy. Yeah. And so that's awesome that you're hearing that on a call. That's the kind of stuff that we want to be hearing. And then also this idea of how our about page and our stories that we share on our website of our background are actually, it's about our clients. Yes, it's about our background, but what we're hoping is that some of our clients see themselves in that story and they connect with us in that way. That's just amazing and just such a great testament too, that it's okay. I I have a good read on what my customers are struggling with, and even how you're describing your story is resonant with how they are maybe feeling about and describing their own story.
I would
So
agree.
yeah.
It was a new thing I've added to my website, and so I was glad that because I'm trying to attract the ideal client. So it was nice to hear that. But
Yeah.
we were going through that, that's what I felt.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's amazing. And also just too, for it being one of the higher end packages too. And especially when it comes to selling things that maybe are a higher price point than sometimes even we're comfortable saying out loud and selling, a big piece of that is trust. It's just whether they trust that they're giving this, we all have hard earned money in our bank accounts that we choose who we really entrust to give it to. And so because we're building more trust, people are then willing to trust us more and pay more. They see the value, but it can be tough to part with money, and even especially if it's a program that's more intensive or it's longer term, that requires trust too, as opposed to just saying, okay, I'm only going to put out one little session and let people try before they really buy and kind of go deeper. And but we know that too, that people need more time to work with us and have a bigger solution. Packages can be really helpful in that way, but that trust needs to be there. And so having that trust built through our website is really valuable, and it makes sales conversations so much easier in the meantime too, which we all want. And a question came in: I have difficulty with packages. How do I decide the price value? I do bill some insurance. Yeah, I think pricing our services is a bit about the math and a bit about the the overall value of what we're putting together and balancing that. I think when you're just getting started on a package, it can be helpful to just think about how much time you would be spending supporting that client, and how many hours you would bill typically for that, and then coming up with that price and seeing, okay, does that feel like a fair price? And then also looking at it in the context of your prices of your other offerings. But then as time goes on, a lot of it is based on the overall value that you're delivering, and you're giving a complete solution, and the years and hours that you've spent developing the handouts that you're giving, the frameworks that you're working on. It's not always just trading time for money anymore. So I think that when you're starting, you can start by calculating to make sure that it's going to be profitable for you and sustainable for you and worthwhile and all of that. And then as you go, you can start thinking about, okay, what does that value need to be in order for this to really build a sustainable business and income for me? And I actually do have a short training, and we just added a shop page to our website for some of the trainings that I've done over the years. And I do actually have a training. It's all about packaging your services and deciding on prices, and really also looking at that holistic picture of how much income you feel you need to have in your business in order for it to be sustainable and supportive of you and whatever goals you have, as well as covering expenses and whatnot. So if you'd like to check that out, I think the price is $19. So it's not terribly expensive. And that might be helpful as well to think about it also with just how much money do I want to be making and how much do I need to be charging, and doing that balance. So hopefully that's some helpful advice for that question. It's a great question. Thank you. Any other questions or thoughts or reflections as we've been sitting here? Anyone else? Okay. All right. I do hope. Okay, great. I'm glad that was helpful. So I do hope to see some of you in the Facebook group. This will be a post in the Facebook group that you can comment on as you go through this, maybe run through it again or process some of the other thoughts and takeaways that you had. It would be great to share. I'll even share what I took away when I did this for myself just to get the conversation going. But I think sharing just even a small snippet can be really helpful for others to just see what everyone is thinking about and those aha moments. I really appreciate you all being here with me for this live. And I look forward to seeing you at our training next week. So do make sure that you have it on your calendar and you have the registration link. And if you haven't registered for it yet, you can just go to whitneybateson.com/upgrade and you can sign up there. It's completely free. And I'll see you soon. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your week.